The conversation with Ed Amaya from Kennewick Industries and Brett Vanderkamp from New Holland Brewing about the secret sauce of employee retention. Ed is majority owner of Kennewick Industries here in Holland. Ed, tell us a little bit about your company and that secret sauce that makes you such a great culture.
Well, thank you very much, Jane. Yeah, my name is Ed Amaya. I'm the majority owner of Kennewick Industries. A little bit about Kennewick Industries. Started over 42 years ago. Family business by the DeVrieses, making the Northport nailer. It was a fishing lure. This is really where Kennewick Industries started. And now we've evolved into being a custom fabrication shop specializing in material handling solutions. So anything to deal with the racks, carts, dollies, returnable packaging, those type of items, that's what we do here at Kennewick Industries. And we're a small business. I have about 23 employees between here and Lansing, where we have a few employees that work in a space over there for General Motors. I think the golden rule for me is just treat people as you'd want to be treated. So if we're talking about a secret sauce, I'm sitting here thinking, well, I have some advantages being the owner of making decisions and doing things on the cuff, off the cuff when I want. But I want to be an inspiration to people in our community that no matter what level of authority you have, whether you're a lead person or you're a supervisor, manager, director, and up the chain, that we all have that same capacity to treat others as we would want to be treated. And I believe that's been the success of Kennewick Industries, is that I believe in that rule and I act that rule out. And I'm sure we'll get into more of that here shortly.
And, one of the things you're known for is just that personal attention that you give to your employees. Tell us a little bit about some of the special things that you do.
I think everything starts with our mission statement, where it says we will be a company where valuing people is priority, resulting in an environment whereby all who come in touch with it will be blessed. And so those are very strong words that are being used there. And I'm willing to put them out there because I live by them. And so some of the things that I love to do for our employees are just the spontaneous pizza parties. We end up getting donuts, or my wife will bake some goods and I'll bring them in. We do a lot of fun things here where, of course, for March Madness, nobody puts any money in, but they have an opportunity to win some money on wins-loss records. And I just find ways, little things that can be simple, but yet meaningful for our employees. One of the other things that I did too, once I started owning the company, was I changed the hours for our folks. And so recognizing that we have short summers here and want to maximize. And manufacturing folks work from 6:30 to 3:45 Monday through Thursday and 6:30 to 11:30 on Fridays. They get their 40 in. The idea behind that was that I knew that they would leave work and they would do things outside of work together, which builds relationship. And they would bring that back into the workplace. In the office, same thing, 7:30 to 4:30 and 7:30 to 2:30 on Fridays, so that they have the opportunity to get out and do things.
One of the areas that you focus on a lot is mentoring, and your Mentoring Mondays. Why don't you give us an inside look at what that means to your organization?
Yeah, Mentoring Monday. We as a company take time out at first break at 8:30 in the morning. And what we do is we honor any birthdays or anniversaries for that month. And we put postings up. These are all postings that go in the break room. And then I'll pick about 3 or 4 different positive postings that I'll have hung up there. And I'll kind of talk about one. I'll pick the one that I want to kind of speak on for about 3 minutes for that month, just to challenge the employees. And they're all about extending grace. And I know a lot of times I walk away and say, are they really listening? Does this really make an impact? But it's nice when I do have employees. He recently says, I have listened. And they've even changed some of their lifestyles based on those things. I'm not going to drink as much as I used to. I think it's important that I do some things differently. And I learned that from what you share. So if you don't think it's making an impact, Ed, I want you to know that it is. And so that's the type of culture that I have here. And the greatest thing that I've ever shared on a Mentoring Monday with any employee here was this one thing, that this company, Kennewick Industries, will never be a perfect company. And they said, well, why? And I say, because I work here. And I'm not perfect. I'm human. Therefore, I don't expect you to be perfect. I'd like you to perfect the way you do what you do, but I'm not asking you to be perfect because you're human. Welcome to Kennewick Industries, the non-perfect company.
How do you get that message across to them that they are very valued by the organization?
It has never been more difficult to manage people during a time like this. And I know that one of the things that I did is that I could just sense the the temperature of the people, and it wasn't good. And when all you can do is go to work and go home and sit at home on the weekends and come back to work and don't get the getaways, attitudes and things just were starting. So I gave him a mental health day off the cuff. I said, tomorrow's going to be a great day. Everyone's off, paid off. Do what you need to do. Let the mind breathe. Let's get through this COVID thing. And so it's those little things along the way that I don't think are great value, but sure do mean a lot to the employee. And I'm going to do the best I can to make sure that they understand that they are not a welder. They are not a painter. You are a person. And I want to make sure that we never dehumanize that that's somebody's mother, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, grandson, granddaughter. And when we begin to label them by what they do, we forget who they are. Never forget who they are. They do that for Kennewick, but that is Robert, that is Danielle, that is Steve, that is Jose, and the list goes on.
What's the one main takeaway you want folks to go home tonight and at the dinner table say, wow, I learned a really cool thing about employee retention and company culture today from Kennewick Industries?
The one takeaway is a word that I call or say is PAYGA, P-A-Y-G-A. People are your greatest assets. It's not that you own them, it's that you owe them. And so that is something that I've lived by here and I've shared with my folks here. And the bottom line is this: when it comes to titles like mine and managers and such, that allows people internally and externally to know the level of authority you have in making certain decisions. So if you want to sell me a building, you don't talk to my design manager, talk to the CEO. But beyond that, it means nothing. We're all here, we're all equal. And what I have realized is that people just want to feel appreciated. I don't like having people say that they work for me. You work with me, and we work for the common goal of the customer. So PAYGA, people are your greatest assets.